Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome to This is Football. Welcome to another transfer show, ladies and gentlemen. 1 a.m. UK time, 3 a.m. local Jordanian time. But we're here, inshallah, whenever there's news, we got you guys covered. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. We'll go live hell at 6 a.m., inshallah, if it's needed. Don't worry, we got you guys covered. This is another transfer news video. Breaking news, while I was doing the Liverpool stream earlier on, Arsenal have made a 105 million bid for Declan Rice. And there's also some reports that West Ham somehow might reject it. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Make sure every single person, whether you're watching this right now or on the replay, make sure you like the video now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Every single person right now. We're live really late. Minimum you could do, like the video, subscribe. YouTube has been telling me you guys are sharing the videos as well at record rates, so continue to share the videos. Hit that share button. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever you want to do it. And of course, I can sit here and I can talk about Arsenal for an hour. This show won't be that long. I can sit here and talk about Arsenal for the foreseeable future, but instead of me doing this, I've got two unbelievable Arsenal panelists who have said yes to coming on at 1 a.m. But it's because the excitement is palpable for Declan Rice. First of all, I'm not going to call him a tactical because it's late at night and I don't want to piss him off. But this guy has been here for most of our Arsenal streams. The people have wanted him back by popular demand. They're like, Hussam, you see that guy who you got on the Havertz and the Rice video? Get him back again. So joining us on the channel, of course, is the celebrity himself. Man like Karan has joined us on the channel. How are you doing, brother?
Good, but it's late, man, and I didn't think he would release it tonight after about 8 p.m. and then it goes. Some people said he was waiting for Love Island to finish, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, well, what can you do? But we're back.
Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever done a stream later than this?
I've done spaces later than this. Stream, I don't think.
Spaces don't count because there's no video. I can't lie, it's just audio. So you could be laying there naked, no one would know. That's
no one would know.
Yeah,
stream, no, I don't think so.
See, there's the first time for everything.
There's the first time for everything.
Big up, my guy. And joining us also on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, Arsenal represent. He's taken time off to come join us at 1 a.m. UK time. I'm sure his missus is gonna be very upset with me, but you get me. You gotta do what you gotta do. Joining us on the channel, of course, Arsenal represent. Man like EGTV Egal. How are you doing, Habibi?
I'm doing good, bro. And just to let you know, I have done longer streams than this. I did a 3 a.m. stream on Vlahovic before, and that never worked out. So, so hopefully this is better than that.
Inshallah, I hope so. I mean, there's 180 people in here already, so at least there's people up to listen to this. So big up to you guys, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I don't want to keep interrupting the guys to say it. So 180 people in here, minimum 100 likes. Yalla, slap that like button now. Subscribe to This Football. Igal's link is in the comment section down below. You can go follow Karan on Twitter and you can find all his links over there at Karan BOP. So big up to the guys and let's just get into it. Let's just talk about it. 105 million bid. Karan, and then after that, open floor. Talk to me regarding the bid. What's your thought process?
I'll just go first.
Go on.
West Ham leaked the information so quick. I'm surprised that they haven't already leaked that Man City are going to come in with a bid by now, because these guys continuously are pushing the narrative. And you know what? Arsenal have been trying their best to take power away from West Ham, because it seemed like West Ham have all the power up over the last couple 24 hours. Arsenal submit a bid, get ready, this and that. And now that we've put 105 million on the table, West Ham know that we're extremely ambitious, we're serious, we're not joking around. We've met your £100 million valuation. Now let's talk. Come to the table and tell us you're going to either accept it or you want something else. Let me know. But all this stuff about they're going to reject it or they want more money, who's going to come and match that bid or pay more? Is Man City going to do that? I don't think so. So this whole thing right now is West Ham. You're going to have to buckle. You're going to have to realize that no one's paying the 120. No one's paying that 110. The price might not go up. This might be one of the best you might get. I would advise them, if they're going to try to stall this, it's going to be stalled until latest June. End of June, maybe July even. But right now, this 105 million record fee for Arsenal, record fee for a British English player, record fee for a West Ham sale. They should be extremely happy with the price tag, because just a year ago, people were saying around 80 mil. Just January, people were saying around 80 mil. 105 million is way more than enough. And this should be the respectable bid that they've been looking for. And anybody who says, oh, they're going to reject it, for who? Who else is coming in to pay 105 million? At best, what they're going to do is they're going to prolong conversations to see what else comes in. They're not going to outright reject it, because that would just be dumb.
Right. So let's get some facts straight. So first things first, West Ham are on the FFP watch list. That's well known, correct? Yep. So when you think about what's happening,
I actually
now,
found that out today. Funnily enough, I never knew this fact, but that's very.
The thing is, right? They've bought players in like Paqueta over the years, but they haven't really made a major sale. So over the last 3 years, you can write off some of it because of COVID, though. But when you accumulate sales and don't really, accumulate purchase and don't really make any sales, then this kind of thing will happen. To Igal's point about it dragging on to July, they want to have it in the books for this financial year, which ends July 30th. This season ends July 30th financially, so it won't drag that long. What this is West Ham posturing to get more upfront. I think that's been well reported. Obviously the installments have been a major issue, but the thing is, when you talk about the installments, it's about the upfront payment, because West Ham want to make purchases this summer and they need that money. So when people talk about, oh, it's 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, that's not the point. The point is how much will be upfront year one. And I think that's what the negotiation is right now. So I don't think it's about City. It's about basically trying to get as much money this year. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans have got a bit out of hand with this, because it's not about, the fans are fine. Like West Ham fans have been going Westchester City, and they're all this trying to.
That's the cringiest thing I've seen.
Stir it up a bit, and get the price up for us guys, please, etc. But the club themselves have done a fantastic job. Let's not get it wrong. Sullivan has mastered the media. He's really promoted the correct leaks at the correct times to get the bids up to as far as. And the thing is, what people aren't saying, I don't think anyone's really been mentioning this like as a talking point, is Man City just matched our offer. They offered 5 mil upfront more. That was the last bid. They didn't go above our bid. And when you're looking at that, you're not thinking, hang on a second, all the reports were they're going to blow us out the water, all this stuff. The bid is going to be crazy. It's Man City. They're going to go crazy, 95, 100 mil. They didn't do that, because at the end of the day, they don't do bidding wars. If you remember with Van Dijk, I remember the All or Nothing documentary that Man City had, and they were like, we're not doing that. I remember there was a period where Tixi was working with Pep through the thing about talking about Virgil, and they were talking about, we're not matching that. And when you talk about adjusted for inflation, this is not, because obviously prices have gone up in the last how many years since you signed Van Dijk. So you're looking at a similar type of deal if you're talking adjusted for inflation than a Virgil van Dijk. So it's interesting to talk about when you're talking about it. But the thing is, what I want people to realize is that West Ham have tried to get as much money as they can and try to delay as long as they can and try to get as much intrigue as much as they can. But Arsenal have not folded. We've gone up incrementally. We haven't gone crazy. There was talk of 120 million. The minute that second bid came in and the City bid came in, it went, okay, we'll accept 100, because that's what you do. You can't just go the whole, pay the money. Football doesn't work like that. So if you read the Steinberg tweets, they're all very, very, very indicative of a Sullivan brief. If you look at what he said, Arsenal may have to go to 110 million. He's never mentioned a fee of 110 million before tonight. He's talked about 100 million or 120. City are lurking with the improved installments. That hasn't been shown to be the case. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they match this, because I think that it's really, if they do, then they really want him, because this is a British record transport. Like, this is
Well,
more
you
than
want to know
British.
something, Karan?
Mm.
The whole situation that everyone's criticizing Arsenal for is what West Ham have circumvened and made possible. This whole bidding war was brought to the table because West Ham have been briefing the media on every single step that we've been taking, but yet somehow it was a secret that Man City bid until the final moment. It's no secret. This whole situation was manufactured by them. They have wanted a bidding war, and this is why they mentioned Manchester United's useless bid. This is why they've mentioned the bid from Man City and waited until the morning to explain that it was rejected. And right now, they're putting out information that it might be rejected. It might not be enough. It might not be this. But really,
But he hasn't said rejected. That's the point.
no,
The point
exactly.
is, like, even if you read the Alex Crook tweet today, he's talking about. I mean, I can send it to you, Hassan. He's literally said discussions are taking place over the upfront payment.
But you know what they've done? They've utilized the media to put pressure on the Arsenal fan
100%,
base, to put pressure
100%.
on the club.
But the thing is, they're
And
trying to use the
not
Arsenal
working.
fan base, and it's not working, because
You know why it's not working? Because the people at the board have realized West Ham's bluffing.
it's not about bluffing, mate. Because if it was about bluffing, then we'd be going with we wouldn't have increased our bid at all. There is definitely interest there from City. Let's not lie about that. There's definitely interest from them. But the question is the interest enough with the purchase of Kovacic, with the inability of knowing what's happening with Bernardo Silva? Is the interest enough to gamble 100 million just to spite your rivals? 100 plus 5.
I don't think they're willing to do that.
Like, and I'm not even talking about from.
I just want to say one thing, sorry, Karan, just about the fan base. Shogun as well is in agreement with the guy. He says, "Dear West Ham, good luck getting a player on a cheap after drumming around. You are getting 100 million plus soon and asking for shorter payment terms." Thank you to Shogun for the super chat. I'm going to say this, right? This is the thing I've actually noticed with Arsenal fans, because I was kind of scrolling through Twitter, just seeing like, what are Arsenal fans saying? And I've actually seen many people say they would actually back Edu if he like stepped away from the deal, if they're asking for too much money. Like many people are going like, you know what, West Ham maybe are going a bit OTT here, and if they do ask for that crazy amount of money, they would actually back Arsenal Football Club. They would back Edu if he's like, nope, this is a bit too much, and maybe let's say go get a Caicedo for 80 or something like that. So I've seen what you guys are saying is true, because I think they're trying to basically, let's say, command the Arsenal fan base kind of against the club to increase pressure, stuff like that. But it's actually working in reverse. Many fans are coming here going like, okay, so these guys are asking for this much money and we put it on the table and they're still saying no. If they say no, I actually back the club if they say no. And I've realized this even as a Liverpool fan from the outside looking in, because I'm even from my honest opinion, 105 million is more than enough for Declan Rice. And from Declan Rice's perspective, I'm gonna just say this. He's been promised by the club that he can leave. He's been promised Conference League, trophy, all of that, brilliant. Now you've promised the guy that he can leave. With all due respect, if Arsenal make £105 million bid, that's not like they bid like 30 million below what's expected.
This is why it's moved from money to installments now. I think we've moved past the fee stage. The fee stage has moved past now. We've got an established fee, 105 million. And with regards to Declan, it's more. He said the entire time, look, I want West Ham to get as much money as they can, but I want to go, and I want to go to Arsenal. It's quite clear that he's wanted to say that. Every person has said that they want Rice to move to Arsenal, the Rice's camp and Rice himself. Obviously, even you've got obviously we don't pay too much attention to ITKs, but like Alex Goldberg, very close to Rice. Always has been on this case for years. He said that basically it's Arsenal now. The fee is basically set, and it's just about negotiating the installments. And there was something Gunnerblog actually said. He did a video on transfers and how they did. Gunnerblog's, if you don't know, one of the athletic correspondents for Arsenal, and he talked about at some point clubs realized that you find that you find out that this deal is going to happen, you have a fee that's like, okay, you know what, we can accept that, and then it's just about getting into a room and just establishing this. We want this clause. We don't want that clause. We want this, and I think that's what's happening now. I'm pretty sure, because at this point you're thinking, okay, if City, that people forget why they bid 100 for Grealish. Why do they bid 100 million for Grealish? Igal, you know, Hussam, you know as well. It's to do
It was
with
an unwritten
it
clause.
was basically a release clause. They were like, if a Champions League club pays 100 million, we'll let you go. Otherwise, we're not negotiating. And look, I think that we're at a point where you're thinking City have never gone in that much, and they have, this isn't someone like, if the roles were reversed and City had been chasing Rice for months and months and months, then fair enough, I can understand. But they've come in as an opportunity, and now they're going to bid their transfer record on a signing that they didn't even consider going after first. They went for Kovacic first. It doesn't make much sense to me. So we'll see what they do, but it just seems like spite at this point.
I just want to say this to the people who are saying Declan Rice is not worth the money. You want to know what? A lot of players are not worth today's money. But guess what? This is the price that you have to pay if you want quality players in today's market. You're going to have to pay over the odds to get the players that you want. And guess what? If Arsenal get Declan Rice, he solves a problem area for us for the foreseeable future, and he raises the level of our squad. With Granit Xhaka leaving, that brings another leader into the dressing room, which is also another key factor that a lot of people are not speaking about. Because with Granit Xhaka leaving, we do need another leader coming in, and that is another situation right there. Declan Rice also has all the qualities on the ball and off the ball that we need it for that player. And you know what? He also allows us to potentially move on Thomas Partey, who at times over the last couple of years has been an issue for us because he wasn't reliable in the business end of the season, where Declan Rice has always shown he's been reliable for West Ham. So guess what, guys? 100 million nowadays is what you have to pay for an experienced, Premier League proven midfielder that's young, and also the English tax. That adds another, 40 million?
And if you're mad at the price tag,
FSG, by the way, Rian Brewster, etc., etc.
I'm not saying he's worth it. Nowadays, that's what you have to pay. 50 million gets you a bench player, Hussam. That's the problem.
I just want to say something genuinely. If anyone here is mad at the price tag, go to your friend who supports Man United. Go to your friend who supports Man United and raise him the middle finger, because his club ruined this entire
and Chelsea
thing. Man United and Chelsea are the reason why we're paying unbelievable amounts of money, because they just, in the words of big up Hendricks, who was on the stream last time with Karen, they've got more money than brains.
Yes.
And it's the same with Man United.
They did it with Van Dijk, remember?
But the thing is, right?
The amount of money they paid for Pogba, for Lukaku, for stuff like that. Now clubs are just sat there, wait a minute. Pogba, if he goes for 85 million, surely we value Rice higher because he's prem proven, he's blah blah blah. So listen, it's just, this is what happens at football. If one football club behaves recklessly in a league, the others have to unfortunately be part of the repercussions. And the truth is, we say 105 million is too much. No way, the lights, my other light. We say 105 million is a bit too much, but two years from now, 3, 4, 5 years from now, we don't know what the prices are like going to be in football. Like they could be 100 times worse than this. What if Declan Rice could be sold 3, 4 years from now for maybe 120, 130, 140, 150 million? It could even be, in hindsight, possibly a Moneyball signing. Now, just before the guys carry on discussing this, there's 400 people watching us even at this time of the night. I'm gonna go get my light. Because this light decided to switch off mid-stream. So make sure you're all slapping the like button. Make sure you're all subscribing. Shout out to Shogun for the super chat. Every single one of you guys right now, 400 people, minimum 200 likes. Like the video, subscribe to this football if you're ready to do so. Shout out to Igal and Karan for doing this at this time of the night. So please like the video and subscribe now. Igal, go on. The floor is yours.
I'm just going to say, I just checked out, Kieran Maguire did report that West Ham are part of the 18 clubs that are on the European watch list. So anybody who's questioning Kieran's statement, that is 100% accurate. On top of that, when it comes to this whole thing about Man City are going to show how much they actually want him if they now go and come back and bid. But we are showing that we're a serious club. People have always questioned Arsenal's ambition. This is the definition of an ambitious move, spending this type of money. And now, if it's a situation where they match our bid, it comes down to the player. And from everything we've known, Declan Rice prefers to move to Arsenal. So at this moment in time, for Man City to get the player over us, we would have to walk away from the deal. And if Arsenal are willing to go this far, do you think they're going to walk away from the deal, Curran?
No, but it's not even about walking away from the deal. It's not about that. It's the price. I understand people's trepidation. Prices are always determined by performance. No one talks about some of the transfers that happened in the past because they banged. Rio Ferdinand was a British transfer record at some point. No one talks about that because he was so great. Fernando Torres, that was a British transfer record. Everyone talks about the price tag. So you talk about the performance, but to go back to Igal's point about Man City and whether they'll come back or not, or whether they're serious. Look, I think if they do come back, and they do come back and they say we'll play, I don't know, 110. I don't think we walk away at all. I think what Hissam was saying about fans backing Edu for walking away, that just can't happen in this case. And it's not because I love Rice that much. It's just because this deal in this period of time shows intent. And people were going on about me about how important this transfer is. Someone was quoted, this is the most important transfer since Ozil. I think it's further back than that. I think it's more important because it sets an era like Bergkamp did. Bergkamp came in and he turned the club into a different mold because he was someone that could lead the club to going forward. And this is what this does. This is era defining. This is something that can really set you up to go on a 5 to 7 year run because with one of the youngest squads in the league, we're all hitting our primes. All the contracts are sorted for the major players, and we have more and enough quality to go forward and really try to do something great. So to let this go at 105 million to 110 million, yeah, no, of course they are taking the piss. Let's not lie here. This deal was said to be done in January, as Igal said, for about 80 million.
And like LJ saying, I feel like doing the Igal gif to them if they don't accept. LJ is going mad. Thank you for the
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Don't worry.
But the thing is,
but if they don't accept, are they taking the piss? I really think.
But they're not. But it's not about.
Bro, they have no choice. They're gonna stall.
It's not about accepting or not, because if it was, it's about not being rejected. That's the point. It hasn't been rejected. So if it hasn't been rejected, then we can negotiate. If they're gonna try and hang that City interest, and I think City honestly got pressured into bidding. The amount of times City's name was dropped, again, City would bid every day. Ornstein then said it. Fabrizio said it. All these guys, DiMarzio.
Did you see that? Who said that on
Luco? No, that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. That was.
I did a video on that on my channel. I find it hilarious. But I do believe there's a level of West Ham briefing the media on certain things that might be slightly exaggerated.
West Ham have actually used the media very well, and they briefed. I mean, let's read the Steinberg tweet. The Steinberg tweet. It says West Ham have not accepted Arsenal's latest bid of 105 million. They're not happy with the payment structure proposed by Arsenal. Talks ongoing. Offer itself is not rejected out of hand. That's the important bit. Offer itself is not rejected out of hand, and West Ham expecting City to bid tomorrow. Why would you need to mention West Ham expecting City to bid tomorrow in a brief? What's that got to do with anything?
You know what that does? They're basically trying to put pressure from the Arsenal fans again, and they're basically telling Man City, "Come, we need you."
Exactly. So, look, it's not about looking.
But Man City don't need Rice that desperately, though. That's my thing.
No, they don't.
Arsenal need him a lot more than City do.
But look at how they've moved this window. I mean, I'm going to try and find the Gvardiol price, because it's not something that was.
Gvardiol is 105 mil himself, no?
Yeah, but if you look at their bid, what Romano tweeted about I'm just going to quickly. Just give me a sec. You guys talk for a second. I'm just going to quickly find.
I'm just going to say this, guys. Anybody in the comment section still believe Man City is leading this race? Because we were getting cooked up for no reason a couple of days ago. People were sitting here saying, "Oh, he's going to Man City no matter what." Hamza yelling and screaming. Now they're talking about, "Oh, he's not worth that type of money. We should pull out."
Thank God I didn't agree with them. The
reality is, Man City we're never going to be pushing this Declan Rice deal as hard as we are. We need Declan Rice more than them. He's a player who changes and transforms our team, where at Man City, he's just part of the team. They're not going to go and spend 100 million.
I've got an unpopular opinion. I don't even think he starts at City.
That's true. And what makes you think they're going to push out this type of
No,
money
he'll start at City.
eventually? But
Well,
what
then
makes
they'd have to change. They'd have to change.
No. They basically, the way they'll do it is they play Rodri and Rice together. That's the way they
Yeah,
do
but
it.
then that's going to be too defensive.
I honestly
For City-
don't
play
care
the
how
City
they
way?
play.
To play the City way, you know that's
My
different.
point is he's not a priority for them at this moment in time. I don't think they have
I agree.
they have other priorities, and I think Declan Rice is an opportunity they wanted to see if they could pounce on and they could do something about it. But this is not the Arsenal of old. We're showing that we don't mind going over what we wanted to pay originally. I think originally the reports were always 92 plus 10 on add-ons. It was originally 102 million. What we've basically done is we've added another 3 million and we've guaranteed another additional 5. So 100 million up front is crazy. The structure that they want, I don't know if they're ever going to get it, because what they're asking for is not normal. It's not regular business standards. Since when do people have to pay off 100 million pound transfers in 2 years? Have you ever heard of that in your life? Usually
Nope,
things
never.
go throughout the length of the contract. That's just the normal
So
standard.
if Rice signs a 5-year contract, it's going to be basically 20 million, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, but West Ham basically want Arsenal to pay 50 million now, 50 million next year, and basically mess up our transfer budget for the next 2 years in order to basically pay them off quicker.
I think West Ham will get to a stage where they just have to sell. I'm gonna be honest with you, because and by the way, the other domino that's gonna fall after this one just depends on what City are willing to do and how bad. Like, here's the thing: if City go like, okay, we're not gonna pay a cent more than Arsenal, or even we're gonna match their bid or something, I think this whole thing is gonna be over with quickly, because then they're gonna realize, like, shit, like, we've promised this guy that we're gonna sell him. City aren't gonna pay any penny more. So we have to accept this Arsenal bid. I'm gonna be honest with you. They might be put in that position, but then this all depends on like what's City's next move, because City, as well, quote unquote, don't do bidding wars. So if City don't do bidding wars and they just kind of push themselves to the side, like, nope, we're not about to get involved in this entire thing, then I think he just moves to Arsenal. And I think here's the thing: even in those comments, you see people going like, honestly, if we pull out of the bid, I won't even be mad. There's a guy earlier on who just said it as well, and Arsenal fan.
No,
He said,
I understand, but the thing is,
if
at
Edu
some
backs out
point,
after this, I will still be proud of the board, because he said they actually went to that price. And from West Ham's perspective, I understand what Karen's saying, but I'll say from the outside looking in, I really think they are taking the piss if they say no.
They are taking the piss. Let's not be clear, they are taking the complete piss.
Yes.
The question is, will this deal will set a standard that says to Europe, look, we can get deals done if you're just willing to work with us, and we're not going to skimp out on you. If you give an appropriate price, we will work with you and we'll try. We'll even help you out a little bit, but we'll still, stick to our principles. We're not going to go 120 million. We'll meet you in the middle. We initially said 80. You said 120. We met in the middle, 100. It's a fair deal. Okay, so look, for me, I just feel like there's been so many deals where we've missed out on our primary target, and we've had to go on a secondary. Lisandro Martinez from last season. And by the way, talking Lisandro Martinez, have people forgotten how that deal happened? Have people absolutely forgotten? They basically, Ajax just waited for them to keep raising the bid. They just said, no, raise it higher, no, raise it higher, and Man United just went like, oh yes, no problem, just keep going. Even after we pulled out and went for Zinchenko, they kept going higher. So look, it's a case where
that's why I blamed them earlier on. I'm right to blame them.
Of course. But the thing
don't know how
is,
to behave, honestly.
They
lost composure, just like
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
They did lose composure. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is to get a deal of this magnitude over the line, it shows that we can compete at the highest level. It shows that the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs, Bayern Munich, they are acting like broke boys right now, but that's enough different. There's a different story.
The bid to Harry Kane.
PSG, these kinds of clubs that can do 9 figure bids, and then even, who knows, maybe even a 10-figure bid at some point in 5, 10, 15 years, whoever knows. But the point is that right now we are bidding at the top table of Europe. And that's why I was talking about guys like the signings that I mentioned to you before. That's the progression I want to see from this club to go into. And the thing
You
is,
went a bit crazy, but I
no.
hear
But
you.
the thing is, if you can establish that we can secure a 100 million bid, what makes it seem so outlandish that a club like Arsenal can say, look, we are in the Premier League, we're competing for the Premier League consistently, why can't we go over after these kind of talents? And obviously Vinny himself is just an example, but guys like Vinicius, Osimhen, these kind of guys, not Mbappe, not
It sends a
Haaland, but like
message, basically.
it sends a message, right, to Europe that we are open, we're ready to buy, and we're also having players come to us, not having players coming to go out and chase players. Players are coming to us to ask, can we play for Arsenal? Because that's what this club's about. Arteta said it himself. He said, if I have to convince a player to play for Arsenal, they don't already out of the door. I can't work with them. You have to want to play for this club. So that's what this deal means.
And I know
to
it
me.
might be a bit cliche, but from Rice's perspective, I think winning the league with Arsenal is going to mean more than winning the league for City.
One league with Arsenal will mean more than the treble this year to City.
This is
real.
the same thing that happened with us, because you see players get respected worldwide and stuff like that. 1920 Liverpool. By the way, Bayern won the sextuple that year, and Klopp still won UEFA Manager of the Year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just like
Let me
it's
ask
such
you
an
this.
unbelievable achievement.
Call me crazy, but even if there's a scenario
Crazy.
where West Ham get a bid that's bigger than what Arsenal have just bid, I don't think they're going to reject. Because if the player says he wants to go to Arsenal and we've submitted this bid and West Ham get a £5 million bid more, he's going to tell them, you got what you wanted. I want to go to Arsenal, even though they're offering you $5 million more. Let me get the move that I want. And at that point, are they really going to?
They are.
Mess
No,
it up,
seriously,
mess it up for
Igal,
5 million?
it's not. The thing is, Igal, it's not about 5 million. The deal depends on the structure, and that's the main point. I think we have to take away from this video. The upfront fee is the structure. That's the point. It's not about how many years. Years is irrelevant in this case because, again, FFP and what West Ham are about, because they need the 55 million to balance the books for this
So
financial
what's
year.
the structure right now? We don't have
The
this
structure
information.
is, I think it's been reported that between 3 and 4 years. I heard it was 3 years. Apparently, some people heard it was 4 years. 55, 35, and 10.
That's still 2
That's
years
what I
better.
heard.
That's
That's
still
what I
2
heard
years
anyway.
better than the 6 years we offered to begin with.
Yeah. So, and someone else said it was 4 years, which is I assume 50 and an extra 10 at the end. So it could be 3, it could be 4. I think there's a year difference between the two clubs. Maybe they want 2 years apparently.
But my point was, do you think this is Arsenal's final bid? Do you think if Man City come
Yes,
back,
that's
This
a
is
good
the
question.
final bid. This is the final bid. There's not going to be any more bids. There's just not. If City come in with 110 million pounds, at that point, we're just talking about ridiculous numbers here, and then we probably will match. Seriously, there's not a world where we don't match. This is how important this signing is, and I think people are underestimating that, because if you're going to have signings going forward that are going to change the club and the trajectory of the club, this is one of those signings. And I think Mikel realizes that. I think the board realizes that. I personally think that Josh, as in Josh Kroenke, and KSC themselves, if you look, you know it, Gal. If you look at their other projects, they're always very aggressive in spending. They're very, very aggressive in spending. I actually think, because especially on Mudryk I don't know if you remember, Igal, on Mudryk,
yeah,
it was Josh and Stan that were like, do match the bid, and Mikel and Eddie were like, no, it's just not worth it.
because they were asking for demands outside of football, ladies and gentlemen. They were literally asking for friendlies and random payments.
Yeah. No, I understand, but the point is I've always said this. I've always thought that KSC are very aggressive in the market. It's that they want to have a self-sustaining club as well.
Smart aggression.
Yeah, exactly. Aggressive.
Look at what they did in the NBA.
Look what
People
they
thought
did
they were
with the
crazy.
Rams. Look what they did with the Rams. For God's sake, they went all in at the trade deadline and gambled all their picks.
Karen said it last time. F them picks.
Seriously, like it's not about. But the point is, because the funny thing is I support 3 KC teams. It's quite funny. I support the Rams, the Nuggets, and Arsenal. So I know these guys quite well. This is not something that I'm not read up on, and this is not something that they would back out of. Not at this stage. Not at the importance.
And you want to know something? This right here, the ripple effect it can have. Arsenal going out and getting Declan Rice over the line over Manchester City, a player who could literally transform us. Because if we don't get Declan Rice, I worry who the alternative would be. Yusuf Fofana? I don't know if he's ready.
this is what I want to ask you next. This is what kind of I want to.
Should we explain? Should we explain what?
I want to go there, but just before we do that, there's 600 people watching us.
Really?
Yes, even
Lovely.
at this time of the night. I promise you, go to YouTube right now. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing.
Wow.
Minimum 300 likes at this time of the night, guys. We've got 1:32 a.m. over here. We've got 3:32 a.m. over here. Make sure you're slapping the like button right now. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, all of that good stuff. Big up to here, to there, LJ Brown, Blaze, and Shogun for the super chats. I've just got 3 super chats to go through really quick. Everyone right now, please like that video this very second and subscribe to This Is Football. LJ says, I want this to end. This DBZ saga length. I have no idea who DBZ is, but I understand what you're saying.
It's Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball. Oh, Dragon Ball Z. Okay, now I know what he means. Here to there says Rice bid 13 million more than Jude. Hope we have a plan B. I think this is what I want to ask the guys on now in this next segment. And then Blaze says, "Lol, Igal, do you remember what happened with Mudrik?"
It's not the same. We just explained.
Let me answer both of those.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as Mudrik. And you know why it's not the same as Mudrik? Is we're not dealing with Chelsea. This is not Bowley. This is a smart club. They know what they're doing.
Karan just lil broed the hell out of Chelsea there.
Like seriously,
But Chelsea don't have composure.
No, it's not even about composure. Look, the funny thing I find about Chelsea fans, and listen, I find Chelsea interesting. I have a lot of Chelsea friends, especially online. I talk to them quite often, and they're all quite nice people. I don't even dislike Chelsea. They're a very interesting club, and I just wondered, like, every time by the skin of their teeth they get out of it. By the skin, like this, they find like a loophole, and Chelsea fans, they go on about it online about, cry more, we'll see you at the next loophole, and you're like, hang on a second, they're closing in, the gates are closing in, and they will close in at some point. They've already had one transfer ban. They at some point they will get another. They're not that smart, and I just find it funny how they win more transfer windows than they do games of football at this moment in time. So it's just everyone take a breath. Good luck with Poch.
And you know, Karan, you know what? I don't even want to waste this precious time to talk on Chelsea. They're just listen. Do you see me doing streams about
I don't come off as disrespectful to Chelsea. I find Chelsea a very interesting club. I like looking at how they do.
Interestingly funny. I agree.
Not even funny. Like they can be funny. It's funny when they lose, but in terms of how they run as a football club, the point is they're not run like City. City have a very strict set of standards. They won't go too far. They won't. If there's a way they can try and take advantage of something, they will. And they've tried. Will they continue? If you look at Fabrizio's tweet, have you seen Fabrizio's tweet? It sounds like a congratulations. It doesn't sound like, tense moments ahead, etc. If you look at Fabrizio's tweet, once again, Mikel Arteta and Edu are doing an incredible job in Declan Rice saga. Arteta pushing like he never did before to insist on Arsenal plans for Declan to be star signing, one of the faces of the long-term project of the club. Huge effort from Arteta on both player and internal sides. It doesn't sound like tense moments ahead. You know what I mean? It sounds like it's pretty much done. And I think that's the feeling at this moment in time. It doesn't feel like, oh crap, they've rejected it. It's just sort of like, look, we're at the table.
He's eventually gonna join us type feeling.
Yeah. It's not even eventually, mate. It'll be the next day or two. They want it done by June 30th. They have to, for their own sake. It can't drag on. Otherwise, they're gonna have to.
All they're gonna do is.
Lisa's agreeing with you guys. He's saying Rice will be an era-defining signing.
I agree. I think he's the biggest signing. What do you call it for Arsenal from an English player standpoint since Sol Campbell. And I originally
That's
seen
fair.
this on Ars blog. Let's be honest. Has Arsenal ever had a bigger English signing than Sol Campbell? No. And would you say that this is probably the biggest signing that we've made that's Premier League proven?
English signing, it's probably either Campbell or Wright, one of them two.
No, but the thing
Ian
is,
Wright
Right.
it's
Yeah,
not.
but
It's just about.
Ian Wright. Sol Campbell came after
Sol
Ian Wright.
Campbell,
We
because he
can-
came from
can judge
Spurs.
that
That's what made that.
once Rice has hung up the boots, we can have these discussions. But the point is in the moment you can only talk about the difficulty of the deal, and actually to get this deal over the line, I'm going to keep saying it. To get this deal over the line shows Europe that we're serious.
You know what?
And that's the
Arsenal
point.
don't seem to be as worried as fans are, though. They're very calm about it.
Look, some are and some aren't. I know a lot of. What did I say to you on last stream with Sam? There's nothing more that Arsenal fans hate than other Arsenal fans. It's that simple.
No,
Like,
but the club themselves seem
the
very
club
calm.
themselves are fine. Look, a lot of fans are fine. A lot of fans aren't fine, and you have to constantly calm them down. But if you look at the club and what the club have done, they're not worried. Well, Edu's partying at Ascot. He doesn't give a shit. He knows what's happening. So
Let me ask you a question, Karen and
Hmm.
Igal, because this is the kind of the final thing, because I don't want to keep
yeah,
you guys
go.
forever, because it's late as hell. Let me ask you guys a question. Because you both are content creators, you've got to answer this. It's part of the work that we do. You know what happens, So I think you already know what I'm gonna ask. If tomorrow, Edu, Arsenal Football Club, we go like, okay, you guys are rejecting 105 million. We're not idiots. We're not D-heads. Bye-bye. See you later. Then what happens from there? What's the plan B? What happens? What goes on? Like, where do you see Arsenal going from here? Let me hear Igal first, actually, and then we'll come back to that. Go on, Igal.
I don't want to believe the Yusuf Fofana news. I think we would stall and first see if they actually come back and renege. We're not going to just be pressured into go and sign a player immediately, but we will line up backups. I don't know if Caicedo is going to be the first name that comes back, but I know we're interested in Lavia if Partey leaves. So maybe it'll be Lavia and Caicedo, or maybe we'll try to find a way to split the money up. But the fact that we just bid so much money for Declan Rice, I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton said to us, we want the same money you guys were offering for Declan Rice if we go to Caicedo. So Arsenal are going to have to find an alternative. And the key part is, the main reason I think why we want Declan Rice is not only because he's English, because of his leadership qualities. So who are we going to find that also has those leadership qualities? Do we go in for a Paulinho at 27? We need to find players that are age-proof. And honestly, Hussam, I don't know what we're going to do if we don't get Declan Rice.
Do you want to? I'll tell you what we're going to do. It's quite simple. The whole Xhaka deal depended on us getting a replacement. He stays. It's that simple. If Thomas Partey goes, then we get Caicedo in, and then we probably move forward with them. We either stay with the midfielder we have, or Partey goes out and Caicedo comes in. That's what happens if Declan Rice doesn't come. I think if no Rice, then it's bad news for Chelsea fans. It's that simple. They're probably going to have to go back to Lavia and then battle out with Liverpool. That's going to be fun times. So, but for me,
I don't think we're that down badly interested in Lavia.
But for me, I've said
it's the others I think we're looking at a bit more. But we are looking at Lavia.
Yeah, for sure. I've said it the entire time. The main thing, and this has been the case since the Newcastle game in 2022, I've wanted the contracts done and Rice. That's what this has been for this summer. Those are the things. We've done the contracts, get Rice through the door, and then you know what, Edu, Arteta, you want to do some random shit. You want to get Timber, you want to get Havertz. Do your thing. I don't care. Like that was the minimum for me. And I think genuinely the reason why I think that Edu and Arteta just thought, you know what, that they're just playing games. We can release a link as well. Go on. Everyone say Yusuf Fofana for Arsenal. It doesn't. We've never been linked to him before, but we can also use the media. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like
kind of the thing Igal said though is a bit worrying because it has been reported that Tony Bloom is looking for 100 million for Caicedo.
Yes.
So he could come back and go like, shit, like you guys paid this much for Rice, I want 100 million for Caicedo. Then it's like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Brighton are just waiting to see what happens with the Declan Rice deal to try to say that's what we want for our player. I really do believe Brighton are waiting for that domino to fall. Everybody has to wait for stuff. Jude Bellingham was the thing a lot of people were waiting for. It already happened before the window. I remember last year, people were waiting for the striker situation. And Mbappe is going to be the thing in the future. Yes, of course, you have to shave your
Jude
head.
Bellingham, right
Yeah.
here.
And I personally think that the Declan Rice deal, even though you think it's going to get wrapped up before the end of this calendar, this
week,
calendar season, this week, I don't know if West Ham are going to wait, because they could get the paperwork submitted, but knowing Arsenal, we're not going to hear about the transfer being done.
May I offer you a solution that's outside this entire thing? Everything you guys just said.
If you say Henderson, I'm going to leave.
No, Karen, come on. I'm not going to do it. There's a guy who just moved to Real Madrid. That means there's a certain guy who's going to get less and less and less.
Yes, you're using
my
call Real Madrid. Okay. Go like, how much you want for Chouameni?
Chouameni. I said this literally.
Drop 80 M's on Chouameni. They shake your hand. They accept directly. Honestly, that's what I believe.
I agree. That's a perfect solution. I really like that solution. But for me,
see, I wasn't gonna troll you. You're the guy who trolls me. I'm such a good host when it comes to Arsenal.
I'm shocked, genuinely. I thought you'd say Henderson is available.
No.
Well, I thought you said Henderson is available. Genuinely, but for me, on the whole Caicedo thing, look, Partey changes things for me. If you're looking at Lavia, you're looking at Caicedo. The thing for me is, what's the difference between Lavia and Caicedo, just monetarily? 35, 40 million? What's Partey going?
40, 50 million potentially.
Yeah. And what's Partey going to go for? About 35, 40 million?
Yeah.
And say we sell, I don't know, an Eddie or someone or a Balogun. There is ways that you can, get around and pay the money. It's not like we're asset, people want our players. So my thing is if the difference is there can be made up with sales, then why not get the better player in the first place? So that was where I think the whole Caicedo thing comes from. But obviously Chelsea have a say, Brighton obviously have a say, but Chelsea with that 60 million bid, I don't. And now the actual loophole is closed now. At the end of this month, there's no more Bowley 8-year amortization. The deals have to be, they can have the contracts longer.
To 5 years,
but the transfers have to be settled in 5 years. So he can't do that bullshit anymore. That if he wants to find another loophole, hat off to him and good for him. But for me, I think that the main thing is, look, if Chelsea can afford him, then fair enough. Then maybe he goes to Chelsea. But if we have a chance with Champions League football, with the state where, and we can offer him a starting position as well straight away, it doesn't seem like we're out of the picture at all.
And if not, you'd agree with my Chouameni take.
Oh yeah, I posted that Chouameni take weeks ago. The guy.
Would you say Chouameni ahead of Caicedo?
Yes.
Or not? Really? Because I actually put up a poll. I'm interested to see what the guys are thinking. Like, who would be your alternative?
I think
Chouameni would be like.
Chouameni would be cheaper, yes.
Chouameni would be cheaper too. Real Madrid would be
the
more.
Reason, do you know why I'd prefer Chouameni? I think that Caicedo's a better 8, but Chouameni's a better 6, and it allows Rice to play 6 and 8, if that makes sense. Chouameni's a better 6 than Caicedo, in my opinion, but Caicedo's a better 8 than 6 than Chouameni is.
With Timber and Kai Havertz
that's fair, but remember, Chouameni does have pace and power, and the Premier League is a pace and power league as well.
That's what I'm saying. So Chouameni has the ability to play 6 better than Caicedo does.
I don't think they were ever looking at Caicedo and Declan Rice to be playing in the same position, because if you go back to January, we were looking at potentially signing both of them. Which makes me believe that we were signing both of them for different choices and different options. So I think if we were to have had Caicedo and Rice come in, it would have been a situation where we would have looked at they're both playing together. And where would they both play? They wouldn't be playing in the same position, obviously. One of them would be a 6,
because there's a genuine misconception in our fan base and in global, whatever you want to call it, that we play with a single pivot. We don't play with a single pivot. We haven't played with a single pivot the entire time. We play with a double pivot because we have Xhaka and Partey in every game, and we win most of our games with them. So who
would be the more advanced player out of the two? It would be Caicedo, right?
if it was Rice and Caicedo's playing the Kante-ish 8 role, box to box, and Rice is playing the 6 that can advance as well, right?
So
If
with
Caicedo-
Havertz and Timber,
Mhm.
is Caicedo still needed?
Yes.
If we
Yeah,
get
100%.
Rice, Havertz, and Timber, is Caicedo still needed?
Yes, 100%. Because I'll tell you why. Because Havertz cannot, then doesn't have to start every game. Then Havertz can be an impact player. He doesn't have to be someone that plays every game. So
Okay, but hear me out. Hear me out. If we're gonna get Timber and Lavia for the money that it would cost us to get Caicedo, in the long term, does it not benefit us that way?
But the thing is, do you want the better player, or do you want to have the more complete squad? That's the point I think we have to talk about here.
I think we need a more complete squad.
And I think that if you're looking at the thing is, right, with Tim, my thing is Havertz and Lavia costed less than Caicedo, and that's why I'm sort of still a bit I'm scratching my head a bit with the Havertz deal. Why would you not wait for Havertz after Caicedo? Surely Caicedo be the one you chase first. Go Rice, Caicedo, Havertz, because Havertz you could put the pressure on Chelsea at the end of June to push their FFP and drive the price down.
Brighton won 100 million potentially.
I know, but the thing is, we can do 100. We can do 85, 90 million. We can do that. So
it might be very difficult to get $200 million transfers done in the same window.
Of course, no. But the thing is, I think this is another thing people misconceive is by saying it's conceivable doesn't mean it's going to happen 100%. I'm talking about what I want.
I think in order for Caicedo to happen at this moment in time, we would have to sell Xhaka, Partey for upwards of 50 million combined.
That's 100% happening.
That's doable.
That is plausible. But even if we do sell the 50 million combined, we would also have to sell Balogun, and we'd have to try to get other sales, because I don't think without more sales, we cannot go and spend that kind of. We could spend the money. Don't get me wrong, but we're eventually going to have to start looking at outgoings and say we need some money from those.
Let's just talk about outgoings that are pretty nailed on. Okay, Xhaka is about 13 million, right?
Done.
Right. Partey about
40 million euros.
Let's be super conservative. That way, we're taking the minimum amount for every sale to see the minimum amount to see what's plausible. Right? Don't be optimistic. Say minimum.
45.
Say Partey goes for 35, 40. Okay, say 40 million.
40 million.
That's realistic.
That's 53 million. Tierney is going to go for about 25, 30.
Does Tierney still go? Newcastle have stalled.
Celtic have come in for him. So maybe 25 million there. So what we're at what 78 million.
We're at
then
80.
You're looking for 80 then. So then talk about Holding. We're probably going to get loaned out, maybe terminated. Pepe maybe 15 million, 10 million.
Pepe, no one's buying him.
Or then contract terminated. Tavares maybe 5 million.
Yeah.
Patino 83. Patino maybe 10 million because of
Balogun.
That's almost 100 million in sales.
Balogun,
and that's without Balogun. Balogun's about 45. So
no. He's not going for 45.
Then say 35. Then say 35.
Yeah.
So that's over 100 million already.
That's still 100. Like low key with your sales, you funded Rice.
Exactly.
Just for the sales.
This is what
I think that's a realistic.
That's what we need.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. But the thing is, I'm trying to give you the minimum amount.
But you know what another issue is? All these player sales might not happen until the very end of the window.
This is the other thing, because Chelsea are trying to stall this Caicedo deal as well. They keep saying every day Fabrizio can keep tweeting personal terms are coming closer, but haven't been agreed. And Bloom is not playing easy with them.
Bloom is very difficult to deal with, man.
No, but the thing is, Bloom.
I'm so lucky McAllister had a release clause. I'm so happy.
We have a decent relationship with Bloom, though. It's just the January stuff. I think we tried to push too hard, but we've given them what they wanted with White, for example, Trossard, where we can do things with them. So we have a better working relationship than Chelsea do at the moment. That's just factual right now.
Okay, we will see what happens. This is late as hell right now, so I'm not gonna keep you guys any longer than this. We have to say big up to LJ Shogun here, to their Blaze Olisa for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you're all slapping that like button right now. There's still 600 people watching us even at this time of the night. Big up to you guys, man. Make sure you're liking the video now. Make sure you're subscribing to this football. We are on the road to 15k, Habibis. I want to see minimum 300 likes on this video. Continue to share it everywhere, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, wherever you want to share it to. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. And listen, I would like to publicly thank Karan and Igal. I thank them privately. I publicly thank them as well, because it takes a lot for you guys to actually come on a show at this time of the night. And the people showed up, though. The people showed up. 600 people on a 1 a.m. stream. Unbelievable how far the channel has come, man. I love you all. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing 100%. And we're going to go now to the lovely people. They're going to let you know where you could find them. Man, like EGTV Igal, where can people find you?
Big up everyone who's watching. Do me a favor, if you check the description of the video, my name to my channel is there also, and you can hit that link, watch the most recent video I just did on everything, broke down everything that's going on, read all the articles, and gave you a little bit more of my opinions on that. So of course, if you're not already sick of me, you can check me out there, and I'm going to give you guys daily updates on Arsenal. And of course, I do have my Premier League shows on the weekend twice a week.
Igal dropped a banger about Declan Rice just before we went live as well. Make sure you go check it out. Big up to you, Igal. Karan. You know what? I have a feeling we're all going to wake up tomorrow and inshallah safe and healthy. And you're going to check your Twitter again, see Havertz to Arsenal. And
I've already seen the interview.
Yeah,
I'm going to go like, shit, I've got to invite Karan and Igal on again. Now here we go. We got this Havertz video.
Big up. Eid, man. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
no, but the thing is,
Karan, where can people find you, my brother?
You can find me at Karan BOP on Twitter. You can find me at Ball of a Passion on YouTube. We're returning tomorrow, which is going to be interesting. So, hopefully with Rice, here we go. We hope. I do think it will go quickly, but we've talked enough about it. But yeah, thanks for having us on. Appreciate it. Don't worry about being late. We weren't sleeping anyway.
It's 2 a.m. in the UK. I've done later than this, but big up everybody. I'm not in Canada, by the way, but Canada just conceded 2 goals to friggin' I don't even know what country that is.
Big up Canada. Big up Canada. You guys still suck. Anyway, also, if you're Jamaican, hold that Jordan Beatty 2-1. Anyway. Love you all. Make sure to go follow Karan, follow Igal, hit us with the like, hit us with the subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah, Eid Q&A. And I have no idea what else I'm doing, which is why you need to hit that notification bell. See you guys later, man.